Okay, so now let's proceed to our new topic, which is the trigonometric functions of complex numbers. So in complex numbers, we are using yung Euler's formula natin. So our Euler's formula is e raised to ix is equal to cosine x plus I sine x, and e raised to negative ix is equal to cosine x minus I sine x. Okay, take note. Yung x na gagamitin dito, ang substitute mo is si x plus iy, which is the format of the complex number. So, what is the relationship of the Euler's formula in trigonometry? Okay, so relationship to trigo. Ano nga ba yung relationship niya? Okay, so to find cosine x, so hanapin natin si cosine x using these formulas, using Euler's formulas. We need to add si equation 1 and equation 2. Okay, so this is our equation 1 and this will be our equation 2. So cosine x is equal to e raised to ix plus e raised to negative ix. Okay, so but we know that EIX is equal to this one. So, substitute lang natin dito. This will be equal to cosine x plus I sine x plus this one, si cosine x minus I sine x. And if we combine like terms, ibig sabihin, this will cancel. Si positive I sine x minus I sine x. So, we will be left with 2 cosine x, which is equal to this one, e raised to ix plus e raised to negative ix. Now, we are only looking for the value of cosine x. So, i-divide natin both sides by 2. And we have our formula for cosine x. That is e raised to ix minus e raised to negative ix all over 2. So, ito ngayon yung gagamitin natin na substitution for cosine x. Now, how do we solve for sine x naman? So, we subtract. If we added yung cosine x this time, isa-subtract naman natin siya. So, this will be equal to e raised to ix minus e raised to negative ix. So, this will be equal to, this is equal to cosine x plus I sine x minus, okay, so minus cosine x minus I sine x. Dito na natin ituloy. So, this will be equal to cosine x plus I sine x and then minus cosine x, then negative times negative, that is positive I sine x. So, this time, si cosine x naman ang magka-cancel and we will be left with, so your e raised to ix minus e raised to negative ix is equal to 2i sine x. Now, we are only looking for the value of sine x. So, divide natin both sides by 2i. Therefore, your sine x will be equal to e raised to ix minus e raised to negative ix all over 2. So, ito naman ngayon yung substitution na gagamitin natin for sine x. Okay? So, that is the relationship of the Euler's formula to trigonometry. Okay? So, now, let's try this example. So, example number 1, find the 6 trigonometric functions of 2 plus I. So, ito ngayon yung complex number natin. So, this is what we will substitute doon sa mga x natin. So, our x will be equal to 2 plus I. So, first, at cosine x muna tayo. So, yung cosine x natin is equal to e raised to ix plus e raised to negative ix all over 2. However, substitute natin si 2 plus I sa mga x. So this will be equal to e raised to I times 2 plus I plus e raised to negative I times 2 plus I all over 2. So distribute natin si I. This will be equal to e raised to 2I plus I squared, and this is negative 1. And then plus e raised to negative 2I, and then negative I squared, and this is also equal to negative 1. So simplifying further, this will be equal to e raised to 2I, and then plus 1. No, negative 1, minus 1. E raised to 2I minus 1 plus e raised to negative 2I, negative times negative, that is positive, all over 2. So, okay, so if you recall yung laws of exponent ninyo, that, for example, this is the first one, a raised to 2, and then it is multiplied to a raised to 3. What do you need to do? You just need to copy the base and then add yung numerator ninyo. So this will be equal to exponent, I should say. So your answer will be a raised to 2 plus 3. So ganun yung gagawin natin dito. However, pabaliktad lang. So from this one, gagawin natin ganito. Okay, so this will be equal to e raised to 2I, and then e raised to negative 1. Okay, and then plus e raised to negative 2I, e raised to positive 1 over 2. So the next thing we should do is to balikan natin yung Euler's formula. So this is the Euler's formula. Now, sulat na lang natin dito. So Euler's, so we have e raised to jx or e raised to ix. Pwede rin namang jx. Kung saan kayo mas madadalian. That is equal to cosine x plus I sine x. Now, meron tayo ditong e raised to 2i. So if we replace x with 2, so e raised to 2i, that will be equal to cosine 2 plus I sine 2. So lahat ng x pinalitan lang natin ng 2. For e raised to negative 2i naman, this will be equal to cosine 2 minus I sine 2. So nag-iiba lang yung operation niya when our exponent is negative. Dito sa part na to. Dito lang sa part na to, okay? And then we can replace this one with ito, and then ito naman with this one. So medyo mahaba siya. This will be equal to e raised to 2i is cosine 2 plus I sine 2 multiplied by e raised to negative 1, and then plus cosine 2 minus I sine 2 multiplied by e raised to 1, and then all over 2. So expand natin. This will be equal to e raised to negative 1 cosine 2 plus e raised to negative 1 I sine 2 plus e raised to plus e raised to 1 cosine 2, and then minus e raised to 1 I sine 2 all over 2. So there you go. Ngayon, combine like terms na natin. So lahat ng cosine pagsamahin natin, and lahat ng okay, so ganito na lang. Lahat ng imaginary pagsamahin natin, lahat ng real pagsamahin din natin. So this will be equal to, ito magkasama to, si e raised to negative 1 cosine 2 and e raised to 1 cosine 2. Since common sa kanila si cosine 2, yun na lang yung i-factor out natin. And then we add yung mga natira. So tama. And then plus si e raised si I sine 2 multiplied by e raised to negative 1, and then minus e raised to 1 all over 2. Now, let's simplify further. We have, what is cosine 2 e raised to 1 plus e raised to negative 1 plus e raised to 1? That will be equal to negative 1.28. So this is equal to negative 1.28. And then for I sine 2 times e raised to negative 1 minus e raised to 1, that will be equal to negative 2.14i and then over 2. Now, pwede nyong i-calculate to diretso sa inyong mga calculators. Gamitin nyo lang is your complex. And I forgot to say pala, in solving this one, dapat, kapag nag-solve kayo ng trigonometric functions of a complex number, dapat yung calculator nyo must be in radians mode. Okay, dapat naka-radians siya. Hindi naka-degrees, dapat radians. Okay, and then if you're going to solve this on your calculator, just press mode. Yan, mode, and then mode setup to. Mode setup. And then next will be mode setup 2. Okay, ito na lang. Mode 2, and then ang susunod will be, you are going to type this one. Gaya din ng pagta-type nyo. And yung I is nasa button na eng. Nasa eng button siya. Nandun yung I. Yun yung pwede nyong gamitin. And then, pag pag na-input nyo na yan, which, ibig sabihin, 1.28 minus 2.14i all over 2, press nyo lang yung equals, and then may lalabas na sagot. However, naka-fraction siya. Press nyo lang si SD so that magkakaroon kayo ng decimal na answer. So, our answer will be, our cosine x is equal to negative 0.64 minus 1.07i. So, ito na ngayon yung cosine x ng 2 plus I na complex number. Okay?